Welcome to Out of the Fog. I'm Melissa Royle Critch. Sunday, March 8th is International Women's Day. It's a day to celebrate the cultural, economic, political, and social contributions of women. So in that spirit, we've invited two special guests onto our show tonight. First, we have Pam Parsons. She's the MHA for Harbour Portagrave, but she's also the local representative on the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Organization. She's here to chat with us about that organization and her role, and also what's going on in the House of Assembly these days. And then we hear from Jennifer Bessell. She's the CEO of NLOWE, the organization dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs in Newfoundland and Labrador. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with those guests.
It was our 35th anniversary. To celebrate, we were on our way to Mama Rosie's, where we had our first date. That's when we heard coming from the radio. So we stopped and listened. It helped us get to safety. So when I think of our anniversary, because now we have even more to celebrate.
You're watching Rogers TV, St. John's.
Welcome back to Out of the Fog. I'm here with the MHA for Harbour Portagrave, Pam Parsons. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, it's certainly great to be back.
We've got lots to chat about for sure, but I want to start off with International Women's Day. It's coming up this week, and you have a special role with in regards to women in politics. You're the local representative for the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians.
You got it. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit more about that role and that organization.
Well, I'm new to the role. What it is, it's all elected officials, women throughout the Commonwealth, and they meet on an annual basis, you know, to network and to discuss how we can change, make good, positive, systemic change, you know, to overcome barriers that women face while getting elected and even putting themselves forward to get elected. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, it'll be my first time meeting, and it's just wonderful, you know, to get with, you know, other women who have taken that journey to get to elected office at all levels of government, municipal, provincial, or federal. And it's just wonderful to get in a room with a bunch of strong women who are there to support women.
And how did you get to take on this role?
Well, it's a vote, actually. All of the women MHAs in the House of Assembly, of all parties, of course, we get together for a little informal, I guess, vote. And I was fortunate to win this position. I'm really grateful, and I'm very thankful for that support.
And now you mentioned some of the barriers for women entering politics and elected politics. I guess you've had some experience now. You've run in a couple of elections and been elected. What do you perceive as some of the barriers? Why aren't there more Pam Parsons? Why aren't there more women putting their names forward?
Well, you know, a lot of people think, you know, that women don't expect to assume positions of leadership, positions in industry, in the private sector, especially elected office. I mean, as you know, we have 40 seats in the House of Assembly across our district. Only 9 of those seats are occupied by female MHAs. So, I mean, right off the get-go, when we learn these traditions growing up, I think confidence is a big thing. Fundraising is also another issue, and I know you're familiar with these topics as well. You know, and it's just, we need to do more to support women. Women need to know that they can have that support. That support is there. I think that's the very first step.
And I know you alluded to my involvement in this, and of course I'm chair of Equal Voice, a local political women in politics organization here. But you actually attended a major Equal Voice national event recently, the Forum for Systemic Change in Ottawa, to speak about some of your experiences. So what was it like, I guess, attending that conference, and what did you take away from that? It
was amazing. You know, to receive that invitation was a complete honor. To come and to talk about my experience and what we've done as a legislature here in the House of Assembly with regards to the harassment-free workplace policy. There was nothing prior to the recently implemented policy, which was just implemented in the last sitting, the fall sitting. And so I got to talk about that. Again, you know, I got to join a room of strong, you know, females there to support women of all levels of government, women in other leadership positions as well. And you know, we got to get there, we brainstorm, we talk about our experiences, and let's face it, we have different experiences than our male friends on the campaign trail and in industry.
And you mentioned the new harassment policy there. I know last year, maybe it was the year before, one of the controversies were all happening. We talked a lot about that on this show. But for anybody who hasn't kind of caught up on the aftermath of that, so I guess what types of policies came in, and what was the legislature able to do to address that?
Well, to take you back there, your memory back there to to those incidents, there was no policy in place at the time, so it was kind of literally flying by the seat of your pants, for lack of a better way to say that. And so complaints initially, I guess, went to the Premier, and then it was kind of, an ad hoc committee type role where the Commissioner of Legislative Standards then stepped in and hired firms to investigate. So ultimately, the committee, by the Privileges and Elections Committee, it's an all-party committee. At the time, it was consist of myself, MHA Keith Hutchings at the time, MHA Lorraine Michael, John Finn, and also the current speaker, Scott Reed, MHA Scott Reed. So we got together. We literally spent an entire summer at this, when the House closed. The House closes usually in June. But, we worked very hard. We heard from a lot of different groups. Equal Voice was one of those groups. And that's how I got to, I guess, build a relationship with members of Equal Voice National. Nancy Peckford, who's moved on now to become mayor.
Yeah, she got elected, which is what the whole organization's trying to do. So
right, and again, she's also relative to a former premier here, Brian Peckford. Gina Hartman, another great, strong woman, and now there's more. You met some new people there when I was there, but it was just amazing. And women need to do more of this. Women need to stand up, and we need to demand change now. It's not going to be given to us. We've got, and unfortunately, we got to use the word fight. But you know what? I'm confident that we can, and it's great to see networking such as what Equal Voice offers.
So, in this role as now a re-elected politician, and in the role as the local representative for the Commonwealth women parliamentarians. Is there anything, I guess, you think you can do to help kind of pass the torch and get more women involved in leadership and in politics?
Well, as I said, it rotates different places in the Commonwealth where women will meet annually to discuss these systemic changes that are needed and experiences. As our local Newfoundland rep, and again, it's certainly an honor to be the representative here in the province, I want to establish our Newfoundland Labrador network right here at home. Because we've got a lot of great women in all levels of government. I mean, look no further than the City of St. John's. I think this is the best time we've ever seen the City of St. John's. They have an amazing council from what I see. It's very healthy, very balanced. I admire that. And again, this will be nonpartisan. I want to establish that. And as we spoke earlier, I'd like you to become a member of that. You're a strong woman. We're proud of you, the work that you do here in the Equal Voice chapter. And we need to support each other. And so, of course, my elected colleagues at the provincial level, I'm going to reach out to the women councillors in my district of Harbour Grace, Portagrave, City of St. John's, City of Mount Pearl, and let's get together. Let's start right there, and we can expand. And wouldn't it be wonderful to see a strong women network across our province supporting each other?
And I got to take you back to talking about the legislature, and it opened back up this week.
Today, yeah.
Today, yeah.
We had a snow day yesterday.
And I guess something after the last election, and it became, and there was obviously a minority government, there seemed to be some hope that the parties could work together and maybe it would have a bit of a better tone. I don't think that has necessarily been the case. I think that it seems like it's just as acrimonious, if not more so. Is there, I guess, what are you looking for in the upcoming sitting of the House of Assembly and the rest of it? Is there a way that we can kind of make sure it's productive and not as negative and personal and nasty? Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there is a lot, that component. If we were to think that there wouldn't be, that's not reality. Unfortunately, we've seen that it's been this way since the beginning of time with regards to elected office. But you know what? We have to work together. I mean, we're elected by the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. For example, I represent about 15,000 constituents. And every time I take my seat in the House, or every time I stand to speak to legislation or to whatever particular bill that we're discussing, I always have that, at the forefront. I'm representing the people who elected me. So it's bigger than a Pam Parsons personality. It's bigger than, any of my colleagues. And, I think first and foremost, it's important that we all remember that. Every time we step in that house, it's bigger than the people, than the personalities in this room and the 40 personalities. And, we take that oath. When you take your oath to office. And that's one of the changes brought in by with the policy. You have to take that oath and you have to swear, to uphold and to not bring shame or disrespect to your office. Again, keeping in mind that it's the public you're representing. So I think first and foremost, I know that's what I practice when I get in there.
I think it's important to stick to the issues and topics and the concerns, because let's face it, they're not blue problems, they're not red problems, they're not orange problems, they're Newfoundland and Labrador problems. And you know what, we have to work together. It's in our best interest to work together. We are in a minority government situation. I'm a political science major in university, and I learned in school that a minority government is perhaps better for the people. But you know, we have to make it work. We have to make it work, and the people are counting on us to do that.
And some of those themes you just mentioned there, you know, remind me a bit of what Andrew Furey was saying today in his leadership announcement. And you were one of the early people to come out and support him. So I'm just wondering, I guess, how you came to that decision, and you know what you like about Andrew Furey as a candidate, and why you came to support him, I guess, before the race even opened, or there's other people in the race.
Yeah, well, my support pertaining to Andrew is based on our friendship. Andrew and I became friends through politics years ago. Also, I consider his father a mentor and a good friend to me, Senator Furey. And so it's based on how I know him as a friend. I believe in him. He's always shown me a genuine personality, and he's very compassionate. And I mean, those are just my observations in my friendship with him. You know, and we've been close. We've kept in touch. You know, we've supported each other. You know, facing the different topics in politics. Once you're involved in politics, you're passionate about the issues, and it's good to have friends who can, you know, you can chat with, you can support each other, because there's tough times regardless. You know, what we're facing, or who's in you know, in the office, in the Premier's office. So my friendship, it's our friendship. And he also came out knocking on doors with me out in Harbour Grace, Portagrave, in the community of Upper Island Cove in particular. And you know, he's been there for me. And again, you know, it's based on our friendship, and I'm behind him 100%. I really want to see him succeed, and I'm certainly committed to working with him.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming. I know you spent a lot of time at Rogers in your past life.
I'm a fog, yeah. I used to be a producer here years ago, and an on-air personality, and a lot of great people here, a lot of volunteers here.
Absolutely.
Of course, so hats off to our volunteers.
Always. So thanks for joining us, and best of luck with the session of the House of Assembly.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Out of the Fog.
Blood in the urine is the most common symptom of bladder cancer. Don't ignore this warning sign, not even once.
Mom, you set his plate again.
Workplace injuries hurt the most at home.
Welcome back to Out of the Fog. I'm here with Jennifer Bessel, the CEO of NLOWE. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we thought it'd be a good time to catch up with you and your organization, because this week, of course, upcoming is International Women's Day on Sunday. But I know you do a lot of events and promotion for the advancement of women in business year-round. So I guess for anyone who's not familiar with your organization, what is the mandate of NLOWE?
At NLOWE, we help women start, advance, and grow their businesses. So if a woman has an idea for a business but doesn't know where to start, we're the first stop. We help a woman figure out what their business idea is, how to define it, and then we help them develop their business plans, put them in touch with the resources that they need, and really help them succeed.
And so there are certainly organizations out there that help people in business, you know, of all different sizes and different industries. Why is it so important, I guess, to focus on helping women entrepreneurs? Like, are there barriers, I guess, or what are the obstacles that women face starting businesses?
Certainly. You know, studies show that women have increased barriers to starting businesses and really taking up the entrepreneurial space. Generally speaking, we see a lot less women as entrepreneurs than we do men, and there has to be reasons for that. So our organization is about empowering women so that they're able to overcome those obstacles, whether they be obstacles around financing, whether they be obstacles around networking, about being able to refine their ideas, being able to develop their business plans, or if the obstacles are simply how to navigate working with the cities or working with different other contractors to help them get their project going. These are all activities that sometimes can be a real barrier for women, and we are in the business of trying to remove those barriers.
And so what do you do to remove those barriers for women?
We have two key programs that are foundational at NLOWE. The first is our startup programming. So we have business advisors in the startup realm, and these business advisors will assist clients in really understanding their business idea and refining it to the point that they have something they can move forward with. We also then have business growth advisors. These advisors provide services to women who are in business already, that have some capacity already built, and want to take that next step, whatever that step may be. So generally speaking, I like to describe us as connectors. We work with the women to really refine their ideas and move them forward, but we also assist in making sure that they meet the people they need to meet, and they understand the opportunities that are out there, whether they're funding opportunities, whether it's networking opportunities, or whether it's simply an opportunity to sit with other women who've experienced the same challenges and find out how they dealt with them so that they can help overcome them as well.
And so where do you find these women? I guess, presumably, your organization is very well known, so, people who want to start businesses will come to you. What is it, I guess, you're looking for, or what kind of, I guess, is there an industry or a type of business or size of business or a personality trait? What makes a good candidate for someone to hook up with NLOWE?
Well, the first piece, of course, is that we are available to all women, and foundationally, that's what we stand for. We want to ensure that all women have the opportunity to enter the business space in a positive way. As an organization, we really cater to looking at the barriers that exist for women and understanding those barriers and then taking the steps that are necessary to remove them. So again, as that connector role, we really take the time to understand the women who come to us and understand what their challenges are, where their hesitancies may be, where their talents are, and really help them develop and refine that in a meaningful way. In terms of how we access the women, well, it's true. We've been around for 20 years, so people are aware that we exist at this point, which is great. But in addition to that, we also offer the SEA program through the Advanced Education and Skills department. So this self-employment assistance program is one where a woman who qualifies would be able to receive some funding through AESL, and we will assist them in developing their business plan as part of that process. So often we receive referrals in that regard, but generally speaking, if a woman has a business plan and they look us up, we try and make sure that we're active on all social media platforms, and we try and make sure that we have a presence in the community, and the women come and find us.
And what about if someone doesn't have a business plan yet? What if they have an idea and they've kind of tried to flesh it out and put together some semblance of what their business would look like, but find the, I guess, making a formal business plan to be the intimidating part, right, which is necessary for funding or getting, backers in different ways. I guess, would you encourage them to come to you?
Most definitely. We have a couple processes in place in that regard. If a woman has an idea and she's trying or struggling with a business plan and comes to see us, we will assist her in terms of helping her understand the elements of an effective business plan and what she needs to include and where she can go to access some resources to assist her. And sometimes there's even some funding available to assist with hiring someone external that can help her create that business plan. We don't write the business plans, but we can assist, and that's what we are very good at and we enjoy doing.
And it sounds like you've got a great team behind you of, experienced business people, of advisors. I'm kind of wondering how you access those women. Do you have a staff, or is it volunteer based? Who are these people who are, I guess, able to help you with your business plan?
We are a membership-driven organization, so we have a membership from across Newfoundland and Labrador. Many of our members have been with us from the very beginning because they believe strongly in NLOWE and the work that we do and building that capacity amongst women in Newfoundland and Labrador. Right now especially, it's a very interesting time for an entrepreneur. We understand that as a province, we need to have more entrepreneurial activity, and women are poised. So it's a great time to step into that space. So the women who champion us are really active in that regard. They want to be a part of that process, so they offer their time in terms of mentoring. They come out to networking events, and they offer their services in terms of workshops and presentations to really inspire and give back to the women who are just starting out.
I love that, kind of looking at the bigger picture, because not only are more businesses obviously helpful to our economy, but engaging more women in the workforce and engaging more women as employers is really good for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Most definitely.
And so it's interesting to see that the members in your organization are so willing to give back and contribute in that way. And I guess, in addition to your kind of normal, activities that you do day to day throughout the year, I understand you have a big conference coming up, a big event.
We do. Each year we have two of what we like to call in the office as our signature events. The first, of course, is our conference. It's a one-day pre-conference and then an evening and the next full day of the conference. We like to draw on local talent and local entrepreneurs to assist in providing the programming. We bring in a keynote, and this year our keynote is Amber Mack. For folks who are aware of her, she's a very well-known podcaster, and she is a technology guru in marketing. So we're very excited to have her come in and help us out for the conference in terms of the keynote. In addition to that, we have a roster of very talented women talking about things like marketing, like finance considerations, how to prepare yourself to be an entrepreneur from a financial point of view, work-life balance, health pieces, marketing, communications. All of those topics are covered throughout the 2 days. So it's a real learning opportunity. And again, it's built on the idea of women supporting women, local women, as well as women from outside of Newfoundland and Labrador, really collaborating and working together to make sure that we give a really good program.
And so if there are, I guess, women who are interested in attending this conference, how would they sign up to be members or to be eligible to attend?
Yeah. You don't have to be a member of NLOWE to attend.
Okay.
The way it works is we do have a membership piece, and on our website there's all the details about membership. We have 3 levels, and that's designed so that we can ensure that no woman is left behind. If you're a woman with a business opportunity and a business of your own and you want to be a member, we've designed the levels of membership so that you can really pick the one that suits your needs. If you are not a member but you want to attend the conference, there's a different fee. It's slightly higher. If you're a member, you get discounts on all of our events and services, so that's one of the member benefits. But certainly we wouldn't turn anyone away, and we would be delighted to see new faces come out.
Oh, that's excellent. And then looking forward after the conference and a kind of a bit of a bigger picture idea, I understand that you are going to be working with the other Atlantic provinces on some upcoming projects. So
Yes.
what's going on there?
Well, we received some funding this past July from the WES programming, which is the Women's Entrepreneurship Strategy funding nationally. And that funding was provided so that we could partner with women's organizations in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island, and really work together to both take a look at our current programs and build on those and expand on those, as well as share resources with one another, so that we're able to develop programming that can be pan-Atlantic in perspective. The end goal, or one of the end goals, is that if you have a woman who's trying to access business startup sort of programming, that there's some continuity in terms of what she would encounter when she comes to NLOWE versus when she goes to one of these partner organizations in the other 3 provinces. We're very excited about this because it's the first time something like this has been tried in Atlantic Canada, and we really see some great opportunity for collaboration amongst not just us as service providers, but also among the women that we serve, really opening up that line of communication. And of course, in Newfoundland and Labrador, geography is often a barrier, so it's also one way to alleviate that barrier as well.
And you mentioned that the conference was one of 2 signatures events.
Yes.
I imagine the other one is the award show.
It is.
That you have, and I've attended it in the past, and it's such a great night. So I know it's a bit early, but if we want to plant the seeds, if anybody has ideas of someone that they should nominate, or or should look ahead to those awards, I guess what's on deck this year for the award show?
Definitely. Each year at our conference, that's when we open up the nominations process.
Okay.
So at the moment, we're looking at how the process has run the last couple of years, and we're doing some adapting. So we're working out some of the kinks that we've experienced more recently. But we will be opening the nomination process after the conference, and we will have all the details on how to nominate on our website. The last number of years, we've been very fortunate that we have a very active membership, and they are very active when it comes to nominating. So we've had some remarkable businesses that have been nominated, and we look forward to the same process again this year.
And you know, with this history of awards and mentorship and networking, and you mentioned there's what, a 21-year history, is that what you said?
Yes.
That, I guess, what's it like to see some of the entrepreneurs who started years ago and are now succeeding? Like, do you follow kind of the success stories of NLOWE over the years?
We do, actually. We follow it in the sense of we have many members that have been with us since the very beginning. So they often come back to us and they assist in terms of mentoring new women that have come through NLOWE, or women who are seeking out services in particular areas. So it's been really rewarding to be able to see just how much NLOWE has grown, and these women have grown alongside NLOWE. When I first moved back to Newfoundland, I worked away for a while, and I was going to do some consulting. So one of the first things I did when I moved back was go into NLOWE myself to access some services, and that's how I got to know NLOWE a little bit at that point in time.
If anyone else wants to look up NLOWE and join as either a member or attend your conference, what's the best way to get in touch? What's the website?
Yep, the website is nlowe.org, but you can always call us as well. Our phone number is online, and we're happy to assist. We just opened our registration for the conference a couple days ago, so it's very timely right now. Okay. And already we're seeing some traffic coming through, so I would encourage people to definitely consider coming out and joining us for 2 very inspirational days.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and happy early International Women's Day.
Thank you so much. Take care.
We'll be right back with more Out of the Fog.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Thanks for watching Out of the Fog. Thanks to Pam Parsons and Jennifer Bessell for joining us this evening. We hope you have a wonderful International Women's Day and celebrate the women in your life. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Out of the Fog.